Hello everyone, it's Supra. So the summer patch came out about a few weeks ago, and with it, but not included in it, was the Graveyard Shift night map. There was the Siege of Shanghai night map that we saw in the CTE, but that didn't get included for some reason. I'm not sure, I wasn't really keeping up with it. That's pretty much all the content, the new content that we've seen in the summer patch for Battlefield 4. It has mainly just been fixes, not even the tick rate server upgrades has been included in this patch. That'll be coming out in the fall patch as far as I know. Death Valley is basically Graveyard Shift's predecessor. Death Valley was a good gameplay insight for what gameplay we could have seen coming from Graveyard Shift. But back in Battlefield 3 we didn't have that many attachments. The infrared scope, the one infrared scope that we had back then was heavily nerfed and it wasn't very usable. And Graveyard Shift is much darker. It fits the purpose of a night map much better, but it doesn't really fit the purpose of public gameplay much better at all. Everyone uses infrared scopes in Graveyard Shift. I've been playing Rush, which by the way the MCOM placements are all the same. All the gameplay game modes for this are all exactly the same. It's just literally a night map. I wasn't very interested in the night maps, and when I tried them out, I heavily underestimated how terrible they actually were. I've heard sort of vague things from the other video producers that I watch, the very little video producers that I've watched, and they seem to have good things to say, but I don't think good things as in like, wow, I really enjoy playing this, I'd play this all the time. I think it's just like a good gesture towards the devs, and I don't think they actually care about the gameplay that is on offer when you play Graveyard Shift. So when I initially started playing this, it was just everyone using night scopes. Initially some people were using laser sights, because if the person with the laser sight looking, if they're looking at each other, then the person with the laser sight will blind the guy with the infrared scope and they won't be able to see and you'll die. You might see that in this gameplay, but that doesn't really work. In general, laser sights, they have this sort of pseudo benefit that they blind people, when in reality they just make you more visible, and if someone with a laser sight is aiming at you, especially through smoke, then you will react much quicker than without. So that didn't work very well, and especially in a night map where everything's dark, your laser will stand out. So people get flares. Now flares, whether or not you have an infrared scope, it does affect your visibility, but obviously if you have an infrared scope, you can't see shit within a close quarter environment, or if any of the players are around the area of the flare. Flares last quite a long time, so people tend to just like throw them everywhere, but in my opinion I think that just makes gameplay really annoying. The other counter for infrared scopes that I haven't seen people use is smoke, but people very rarely use smoke, apart from the M18 smoke grenades. People should start really using the M320 smoke more to fire into buildings, especially on Graveyard Shift. If they get into the buildings and they're using their scopes to try and locate people and you smoke the buildings, then they can't see and you can quite safely approach them while still using infrared scopes as well. But then that's all Graveyard Shift really is how to use an infrared scope without being annoyed. So the gameplay spectrum that is on offer with Graveyard Shift is very narrow. It gets tiring very quickly, to be honest, but it gives us an insight into the reason why there shouldn't be any night maps, or at least in public gameplay, the way that the player base plays right now. In terms of private games, like organised sessions such as Luton's Hardcore Diffuse game mode, I think that would work with this map very well actually. I think those two would work very well together. A dark night map and the quiet, using suppressors, that would very easily fit that scenario. But with public games, where everyone's just using suppressors and infrared scopes and trying to be a predator but just being a dickhead, it gets annoying very quickly. It is free. At least players all across the player base, premium or non-premium, can come and enjoy this shit without having to open their wallet, which, let's be honest, is better than paying 85 quid for the game and premium when it came out, where you couldn't play it, and when you did play it, it was fucking depressing. So you have that, but that's all I have to say for this map. I think that DICE's idea of how public games play out is very different from how they actually play out. Battlefield has been very quiet recently. It's been the most quiet that I've ever seen it. There's not a lot of content coming out. Battlefront is coming out, but obviously that isn't in the interests of every Battlefield player. In fact, I don't think it's in the interests of a lot of Battlefield players. It's Star Wars. I don't think it's going to be a lot like Battle. You know what? I don't really have an opinion to say I just know that I'm not interested in it. I will probably not buy it, and I think a lot of Battlefield players will be the same, but I don't think that's saying anything new. And Hardline continues to be a starving child, neglected by its seemingly alcoholic parents that just pretend that there isn't any criticism or problems. So that's all for this one. Please rate and comment, check out my other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.